Wide receiver rankings, week 5, presented by UrbanInt.com. I'm writing this on Wednesday night for Thursday's video. Expect more videos every week for the other unit groupings like running back, quarterback, and tight end. And click the playlist for all the week 5 rankings. It's just so convenient. And if you're new here, this is where I take industry-leading data, Vegas sports books, and expert analysis to provide you with optimal weekly rankings for the utmost accuracy in setting your weekly lineups. This week, we have 40 wideouts in 96 to 70 yards over, under, or more is the S tier. A tier is the 60s, that's 60 to 70 projected yards. B tier is the 50s, that's 50 to 60. C's 40 to 50, and D tier is the rest. It's less than 40 yards. All right, let's go. Puka 96 over under, 139 yards per game. Q Ultra Instinct. He's the GOAT right now. And San Fran is absolutely doomed this week. Amon-Ra St. Brown, only 78 yards per game, but 1.5 tutties per game. Puka, the PPR god, is only about half of that at 0.8. They're set to crush the Bengals, 30th worst pass defense without mercy. JSN, 80 over under, 103 yards per game. These three really stand on their own. They could be in their own tier above the S, the S plus, the double S, the SS. Oh, no, not the Garrett Wilson, 62 over under, absolutely insulting because it's been 78 yards per game, and he gets the pleasure of facing Dallas's league worst pass defense. 32nd Cowboys pass defense, okay? George Pickens, 70 over under, 75 yards per game. He's on the other side of the ball, and if you don't believe me that this is going to be a big game, just look at the total and spread. Nico Collins, 70 over under, only 65 yards per game. I know. We haven't gotten Nico of last year, this year yet, but he gets the absolutely decimated Ravens. 31st secondary. Look at the spread. Don't look at the total. This is a gross game, but who do you think is going to lead Houston to victory? And it's Emeka Egbuka. 61 over under, 73 yards per game against the league average Seahawks pass defense. And Jay Jettas at 8, 68 over under, 82 yards per game at Cleveland's 4th best. This is going to be a gross game too. Grosser game, but Jefferson is on the right side of the equation. All these players are on the right side of the equation this week. That's your top 8. They will have great matchups. They score touchdowns, and they produce the most fantasy points in week 5. A tier has 8 more elite wideouts. It's 60-70 projected yards. Let's keep it rolling. And at 9, it's Devontae Adams. I know. Pat Stafford is the Jordan Belfort of PPR scams, propping up 2 wideouts for 20 fantasy points a week. He's got an insulting 54 over under, but 67 yards per game, 9 targets per game. They face the Niners tonight, and the Niners are also missing everyone. And the Rams are set to win by nearly 9 points. Stafford's done it before. Other quarterbacks in fantasy, is it sustainable? I don't know. But send it. Rams, fantasy assets, send it this week. Jamar Chase is at 10. I know, it looks bad. It is bad. 65 over under, still 68 yards per game and 9 targets per game. So listen, just weather the storm, okay? If Xavier Worthy can get 83 yards off injury on the Lions this week, Chase can too, okay? And we'll go with 4 players with 4 matchups with similar projections. QJ versus Washington's 27th worst secondary. T-Mac versus Miami's 20th worst. Sutton at Philly's just below league average. And MPJ at 14 against the Raiders' 23rd worst. QJ 60 over under, 84 yards per game, 9 targets. Washington soft, very nice total. Close game. Ted McMillan, 56 over under, 70 yards per game, 9 targets per game, same thing. Miami's soft, good total, close game. Sutton at 13, 64 over under, 67 yards per game, 7 targets. MPJ, 52 over under, 59 yards per game, and 7 targets as well. So all 4 of these guys, they're in good positions to have good weeks. They have good matchups. And we have to talk about Zay Flowers, Debo Samuel. Zay has no line. No Lamar, 79 yards per game, 8 targets per game, but it's a tough matchup against Houston's 7th best secondary. I know you don't want to hear it's going to be a close game. Just keep in mind Houston's the 29th most dangerous team, generating just 16 points a game. So Debo, he's got a heel injury. He didn't practice, but it was 81 yards in his last game. And in spite of the Chargers being the 5th best pass defense, they let Sutton go for 118 yards on them last week. So, and Hollywood Brown for like 99 in week 1. So just keep an eye on his game status. That's the top 16. B tier begins with more starters, but you really want your 2 starting wideouts either on the board or next. We'll kick it off with UrbanandM.com. UrbanandM.com is my company my best friend and I started in 2020. We literally make everything ourselves by hand. We have earrings, rings, necklaces, bracelets, tie clips, apparel, and more. Over a dozen curated gemstones and 100 handcrafted products. If you need a gift or something special for yourself, use the promo code in the description, find something you love, and buy it today. Now back to the video. If you like spending money and looking good, this is my store. But if you hate looking good, you hate yourself and me, just subscribe. That's free. All right, refocus. B tier, 50 to 60 over under, receiving yards projected. And at 17, it's Jalen Waddle. Waddle, 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 waddle. Isn't that a song? Jalen Waddle, 58 over under. There's no hill. He's carried before in fantasy years past. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen this week, but I am saying expect an increased load and a decent scoring game with Carolina in spite of their 12th best back 7. Okay? We'll go with a big group of similar outcomes. Myers at 18. Keenan Allen at 19. Xavier Worthy at 20. MHJ at 21. And Olave at 22. They all get about 8 targets per game, and they face the 21st, 27th, 24th, 22nd, and 25th worst pass defenses each this week. 55 over under, 65 yards per game for Jacoby, 57 over under for Keenan, 58 yards per game. Xavier Worthy, 59 over under, 60 yards per game. 50 for MHJ, 52 yards per game, and Olave, 55 over under. And the least at 46 yards per game. But 10 targets for him, poor Olave. All their teams are set to win this week with the exception of Jacoby and the Raiders, but rest assured, you feel safe here. Matchups are fine. All this feels pretty good. But at 23 and 24, you don't feel safe anymore. A.J. Brown, 61 over under, 38 yards per game on 7 targets. What's up with that? Brian Thomas, 55 over under, 45 yards per game on 8 targets. I mean, Brian Thomas has been a little more consistent than Brown, but you're not happy with either one of these guys. And the real problem is the matchups. A.J. Brown versus the Broncos, 9th best, low total, close game. And Brian Thomas versus Kansas, 8th best, okay total, but set to lose. Their close game. Not great. Not great. Brings us to C tier, and it's the rest of the wideouts that between tough matchups and being the second, third look are only projected for 40 to 50 yards. Wandale Robinson at 25. 49 over under, 59 yards per game, 7 targets before no neighbors, so that's good. Should he just continue his production, that would be acceptable. Maybe he gets a boost. It is a gross game, and the Saints aren't exactly Detroit. Ladd McConkey's at 26. What's going on with Ladd? 55 over under, 43 yards per game. He had a week 4 stinker, but it's been 7 targets, and he gets a soft matchup with QJ up against Washington. Should bounce back. And we'll go with J-Mo. Devonta Smith, and Chris Godwin next. They're all set for 43 to 47 projected yards. And while J-Mo has been more efficient with his 5 targets and 53 yards per game, it's only been 40 yards per game for Smith, and Godwin's at 26. In spite of 10 targets, he only came away with 3 receptions. So J-Mo's in the best spot of the 3 against the Bengals, 30th worst. Smith and Godwin, they're struggling a little bit more. But these next 3 are struggling even more, guaranteed. It's Addison, Diggs, and Higgins, 29, 30, and 31. They all have terrible matchups. Browns, 4th best. Bills, number 1 pass defense. And Detroit's 13th best. Addison and Diggs did have big games on a few receptions. Higgins suffers immensely at 34 yards per game and 5 targets. We need to see more, or they can't be relied on. But you know what's worse? The rest. It's D tier. Less than 40 yards. Don't start Trey Tucker, Troy Franklin, Coleman, Shakir, Judy, Ridley, Hunter, Shaheed. Recap. That's your top 40. Ask me questions down in the comments. Subscribe, turn on post notifications, like the video if you liked the video, and tune in each week before submitting your lineups. It's free, so it's a good value. But if you like spending money and looking your best, use the promo code and spend it in my store. And watch some more videos!